Hello everyone, this is Sue Hughes here from Light Life Living, and I'm here today with my friend and colleague Emma Watson. And our last little newsletter was about exercise. We started exploring our relationship with exercise, and today we're going to take that just a little bit further and think about what our relationship with exercise is now. So Emma, if you could sum that up, what your relationship is with exercise.
Oh gosh, that's a tricky one, Sue. It's a lot better than it used to be. So if I think about what I do now, it's much more consistent. Overall, it's much gentler. And the underlying purpose of why I do it is different. So these days I have a regular yoga practice, and in that practice, I do some strength work to maintain muscle mass and bone density and all those kind of things. And my philosophy now is making sure that I do some things to help my body so that I increase my likelihood of aging well. It also helps me manage some arthritic symptoms that have come into my life in the last 12 months or so. Bit of walking, bit of swimming, that type of thing, but it's very different to the days where I was slogging out in gyms and those high intensity exercise classes that leave you sweating and exhausted.
Sure. It's very interesting what you say there, because the word gentle came up and hit me. And so often, and I think our viewers, our readers will remember from last time how we were talking about our gym experiences. Excuse me. For me, I walk. Now that's it's partly self-imposed, but partly because I have a dog. And actually having a dog has been so helpful for me, because it's meant that 3 times a day, rain or shine, I'm out there, and walking is for me the most fabulous way of exercising. Having suffered from being very overweight in the past, my joints have suffered, and perhaps like you, I've got sort of incipient arthritis, although I think mine is more osteoarthritis than any other form. So the word gentle is really relevant. I've been down we've got to do some running here, and I think, oh no, we don't. We don't have to do running here. So I walk, and being out in nature also is so therapeutic.
It's very different from the internal environment of a gym, isn't it?
Yeah. In fact, I did join a gym again about a year ago, and I went with quite a good mindset on there, because as we get older, as you said, the keeping the strength, keeping the flexibility was really good. But I ended up going, and it started to become a chore again. And I was reacting to the people, one person in particular that went at the time that I did. And I thought, this is just not for me. This is just not for me. Take it on the chin. Take the subscription on the chin and go back to doing what you really enjoy doing. I guess the only other thing that I will do on a relatively regular basis, and which I would like to continue doing on a far more regular basis, is the whole idea of flexibility, so stretching, but keeping myself moving, keeping myself flexible. So what else? How many times a week do you do yoga? Do you reckon?
I find my body responds best with about 4 classes, but just unfortunately with the way the studio I'm going to is set up, I can go to about 3 a week, just with times and days and that kind of thing. Eventually I'd like to have a little bit more of a practice on the days where I don't go to one of those classes, just a short practice at home, just to maintain some blood flow through some of those joints and the muscle mass and that kind of thing. But for what I want out of it, the 3 times a week's working well, and I'm enjoying it overall. So I don't enjoy every long hold downward dog or every long hold plank, but overall I enjoy it.
Yes, sometimes when the rain is pouring down,
Yes.
And I'm thinking, I need to be out there. I've got to go out there, because otherwise there are the consequences of a non-exercise dog. once I'm out there, actually, it's really okay. It's really okay. It's just a different experience. But it's one that I'm so pleased is part of my life. And also I know that some exercise can be very solitary. For me, actually, I really enjoy as well as feeling the movement in my body, I enjoy the discourse with fellow dog walkers or just other people around in the park. And it's so much more natural.
Do you find that people approach you much more when you're walking with a dog rather than just walking by yourself?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I think if I was walking on my own without the dog, my head might be more down. I don't know.
Yes.
I very rarely do that,
Mm.
but I wouldn't be so available as when I have the dog, because I have to be relating with the dog all the time as well.
Here's a question for you, Sue. Have you ever tapped directly on your relationship to exercise? Is that something you've targeted with your tapping?
It definitely is, because there are still areas of resistance. There are still old mindsets that I don't want to go into. There is still that sort of that pushing, that striving. So I'm still susceptible to that. And so tapping around that is really, really helpful. And it's almost like you feel scales dropping off. Think, no, that's not how I do it anymore. As I say, I related very much to the word gentle. And actually, you can be having a really enjoyable hard workout in a physical sense, but in a gentle way to your soul, in a gentle way on your mind, and you're listening to your body and say, okay, well, I've had enough doing that. A friend of mine plays badminton a lot, loves it, absolutely loves it. I'm not much of a one for competitive sports. Maybe that's something I need to tap on.
So I'm exactly the same. That's so interesting you say that. I'm exactly the same. There's something about it actually makes me slightly uncomfortable now I think of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But you and I both to tap on that issue.
Yes, that's right. Yes. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But those of my friends that enjoy playing that sort of thing, there's a joy and a lightness in it that is not stressing on the body. So in summary, I guess for me, exercise now is keeping my body flexible. We're made to move. We're made to operate. It's like having a piece of machinery in the cupboard. You know, it's all very well having this, or a car. You have a car in the garage, and it's not moved. What's going to happen? It's going to eventually it's going to seize up. They're made to move. We're made to move, and there's great therapy for us in that movement. Everything can seem to flow more often. So if you've got it, use it. I feel very grateful that I have the ability to move, whereas there are so many people that can't. So there's a sort of sense of responsibility there too, to use what I've got. Yeah. Any final thoughts from you, Emma?
Similar to you, Sue, I think what's changed so much for me is the philosophy underneath why I exercise. The external has changed to an extent, but not really. You know, me in the past would have been doing those 3 to 4 classes a week at the gym, or, you know, it would have externally not looked that dissimilar. But the place I'm coming from emotionally and philosophically now is vastly different, and it is much more pleasant. And like you, I deliberately tapped on my relationship with exercise to get it into a more functional and less dysfunctional kind of space.
Yeah.
I'm grateful I did that. I think I may have even put aside a month or something like that, or a couple of weeks where I just tapped on that issue. And I did it in quite an intensive way, just to sort of, you know how we can tap sometimes and have lots of things we're tapping on. I wanted to do some intense work on my relationship with exercise, and it really made some shifts.
So perhaps, as we've been talking today about the practical outworking of the change in our life, perhaps next time people would like to hear about the practical things we do as regards our daily food regimes.
Yeah. And maybe even where we fit tapping into the day, Sue, as well.
Yeah. Excellent.
All right.
Thank you for your time.
You are very welcome.
And I look forward to chatting to you again very soon.
See you soon, Sue.
See you soon. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye.